Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1, because today we're going deep into one of the most surprising modern coins in the United States, a quarter released not too long ago, in 2019. It's part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, and it features none other than the historic Lowell National Historical Park in Massachusetts. Now, most people pass this coin without a second glance. It's just a quarter, right? Just 25 cents. You've probably used it to pay for parking or to grab a candy bar from a vending machine. But what if I told you that this little coin could secretly be a hidden gem worth a small fortune? Stick with me, because we're uncovering the story, the secrets, and the shocking value behind the 2019 Lowell quarter. And trust me, you'll want to check your coin jar after this. Let's rewind just a bit and explore the backstory. In 2010, the U.S. Mint launched the America the Beautiful series, a follow-up to the wildly popular 50-state quarters program. Over the years, the Mint released quarters showcasing national parks and historic sites from every state and U.S. territory. In 2019, one of those designs was dedicated to Lowell National Historical Park in Massachusetts, a site that commemorates the birthplace of America's Industrial Revolution. It pays tribute to the thousands of textile workers, especially the young women known as mill girls, who operated the early machinery that helped transform America into an industrial powerhouse. On the reverse side of the Lowell quarter, you'll see one of these women at work at a power loom, with a large window behind her framing the iconic Butte Mill clock tower. It's a powerful, detailed design full of symbolism and respect for working-class American history. Now flip the coin over, and you'll see George Washington's familiar profile. But here's the twist. Not all 2019 Lowell quarters are created equal. And that's where things start to get really exciting. There are certain versions of this coin that collectors are scrambling to find. The most sought after are the ones with a W Mint mark, meaning they were produced at the West Point Mint. Unlike the millions of quarters made in Philadelphia and Denver, the West Point Mint only released a limited number of these W-marked coins, and they were mixed into general circulation. That's right, no special packaging, no collector's boxes, they were just tossed into the wild like any other quarter. And that's what makes them so thrilling to find. It's like a real-life treasure hunt, but wait, there's more. Some of these Lowell quarters aren't just rare because of the mint mark. A few were struck with minting errors. These could include things like doubled dies, off-center images, die chips, and more. These flaws might sound like imperfections, but to collectors, they make the coin even more special. And when you combine a rare mint mark with a dramatic error in top-tier condition, that's when things get really valuable. And now here's something that might surprise you. Even a regular Lowell quarter with a W mint mark in slightly circulated condition could sell for $20, $30, even up to $100 to the right buyer. If you have one in pristine, uncirculated shape, meaning it looks like it just came out of the mint, with no scratches or wear, you might be looking at a few $100 or more. But let's go even further. Imagine you've discovered a 2019 Lowell quarter with all the right ingredients: a W mint mark, a dramatic error like a double die or a misaligned strike, and it's in near perfect condition. These are coins that don't come along often. They're examined, graded, and slabbed by professional services like PCGS or NGC. And when they appear at auctions or collector conventions, let's just say people take notice. In fact, one such coin, featuring an ultra-rare combination of a mint error and high-grade preservation, has stunned the coin collecting community with its value, because this little 25-cent piece, this simple, overlooked coin that may have passed through a dozen hands in a single day, has been estimated and appraised at a value of $45,000. That's right. A single quarter, worth $45,000. So before you toss the change in your cup holder, or feed it into a parking meter, take a closer look. That humble coin in your pocket could be more than just money, it could be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare US coins, unbelievable finds, and how everyday people are turning pocket change into massive paydays, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. We've got plenty more coin stories coming your way. Top 2. We're going to take a close look at a truly fascinating and mysterious piece of modern US currency, the 2017 Effigy Mounds quarter. It's a coin that not many people talk about, yet it's hiding in plain sight. It's part of your everyday change, your coin jar, maybe even sitting right now in your car's cup holder. But some versions of this quarter aren't just rare, they're insanely valuable. So let's take a journey into history, artistry, and hidden value as we unlock the story behind the effigy mounds quarter. And make sure you stick around till the very end, because you'll want to hear just how much one of these rare coins is actually worth. Let's begin by stepping back to the year 2017. The United States Mint was well into its ambitious America the Beautiful Quarters program, which began in 2010 and aimed to honor national parks and landmarks from all 50 states and U.S. territories. That year, one of the designs released paid tribute to Effigy Mounds National Monument in Iowa, a deeply spiritual and historically rich site that holds over 200 prehistoric mounds built by Native American cultures more than 1,000 years ago. Now, these mounds aren't just piles of earth. They were constructed in the shapes of animals, bears, birds, and more, meant to represent sacred symbols, spiritual beings, and ancestral ties to the land. These formations are thousands of years old and remain a powerful reminder of Native American history and heritage. The 2017 quarter captures that essence beautifully. On the reverse side, you'll see an aerial depiction of several mounds shaped like bears, curved and flowing as if watching over the land. It's one of the most visually unique coins in the series. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a miniature monument to the lives, beliefs, and artistry of ancient peoples. Flip the coin over, and there's our familiar first president, George Washington. But it's what's not so familiar that gets collectors buzzing, because while millions of these coins were minted for everyday use, only a few were struck under special conditions or released with rare features that make them worth far more than face value. And this is where the story gets interesting. First, let's talk mint marks. These tiny letters tell you where the coin was made: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But in 2017, a small batch of Effigy Mounds quarters was minted at the West Point Mint, marked with a W. These W quarters are not only rare, but they were secretly released into circulation as part of a surprise initiative by the US Mint to spark interest in coin collecting. That's right. No official sets, no special packaging. Just released into the wild like treasure in a scavenger hunt. But that's not the only detail that makes this coin special. Some Effigy Mounds quarters were struck with minting errors, imperfections that happened during production. These might include doubled dies, off-center designs, die cracks, or cuds. These aren't flaws in the eyes of collectors, they're rare variants that can skyrocket a coin's value, and if that rare coin also happens to be in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state, free from wear and scratches, then you've got yourself something truly exceptional. Here's where things get real: most Effigy Mounds quarters? They're still worth just 25 cents. Even a clean, circulated one might fetch $1 or $2 from someone completing a collection, but a high-grade version with a rare mint mark or an error, especially one that's been graded and authenticated by a professional coin service, can climb dramatically in value. And when we talk about dramatic, we mean life-changing. Because believe it or not, one specific 2017 Effigy Mounds quarter featuring a rare combination of a W mint mark, a unique minting error, and preserved in flawless condition has stunned the numismatic world with its value. It was professionally graded, verified, and went into auction. The competition was fierce. The bids climbed. And in the end, that little 25-cent coin was valued at an astonishing $48,000. Yes. That's $48,000. So the next time you're counting your coins, take a closer look at your quarters. Pull out the ones from 2017. Check the design. Look at the mint mark. Look for doubling or misalignment. Because if you're lucky, if the stars align, you could be holding on to one of the rarest and most valuable quarters of the last decade, and to think, it might have been sitting in your pocket all along. Top 3. We're unlocking the story of a coin that's hiding in plain sight: the 2000 Massachusetts State Quarter. It's part of the legendary 50-state quarters program, and while millions were made, some of these coins are anything but ordinary. In fact, one of them has become one of the most talked about treasures in modern American coin collecting. What makes it so special? What should you be looking for? And most importantly, just how much could it be worth? Let's take a deep dive into the history, mystery, and jaw-dropping value of this iconic coin, and make sure to stay with me until the very end. You won't want to miss what this coin could actually be worth today. Let's rewind back to the year 2000. It was the beginning of a new millennium. Y2K had just passed, and the US Mint was releasing the fifth coin in its bold new state quarters series. Each quarter honored a different state with a unique design, and the Massachusetts quarter was among the early favorites, struck to honor the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the coin features a design that's as rich in symbolism as it is in history. On the reverse side, you'll see a detailed image of the Minuteman statue, a tribute to the state's pivotal role in the American Revolution. The statue stands proudly, holding a musket, with the shape of the state of Massachusetts engraved behind it. Above the statue reads the title, "The Bay State," a nod to Massachusetts' coastal geography and historical nickname. It's a coin that celebrates freedom, bravery, and the very birth of the nation. Now flip it over and, like all state quarters, you'll find the familiar face of George Washington. But what most people don't realize is that even among millions of these coins, a tiny handful stand apart, and they've become the holy grail for collectors around the world. So, what makes one Massachusetts quarter worth just 25 cents, and another worth a small fortune? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and something called a minting error. Let me explain. First, let's talk condition. Most quarters go straight into circulation. They get tossed in wallets, scraped through vending machines, dropped on sidewalks. Those coins? They're worn, scratched, and ordinary. But a few are saved from circulation right away. These are called uncirculated or mint state coins. They're clean, flawless, and look just as crisp as the day they were struck. Collectors love these. But even more valuable are coins that have something unexpected about them, something the US Mint never intended. That's where minting errors come in. Sometimes, during the coin making process, a tiny mistake happens. Maybe the die was misaligned. Maybe it struck the coin twice. Maybe there was grease on the die that caused part of the image to be missing. Or maybe, just maybe, the wrong planchet, or blank coin, was used entirely. These errors are rare. But when they happen, and they're caught by collectors, they can turn a regular coin into a prized possession. And wouldn't you know it, the 2000 Massachusetts quarter is one of the state quarters that has several known minting errors, including off-center strikes, double dies, and even rare transitional planchet errors, where the coin was accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination or metal type. These rare combinations, especially when paired with a high-grade uncirculated finish, create the perfect storm for value. A coin that once sat quietly in someone's pocket can suddenly become the center of a bidding war. Over the years, coin collectors and investors alike have been on the hunt for the perfect Massachusetts quarter. Some have found coins with slightly double text. Others have discovered lightly stamped state outlines, misaligned images, or even completely missing elements. These aren't just curiosities, they're collectibles, and here's the thing, collectors don't just like these kinds of errors, they pay big for them. Especially when those coins have been certified by trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC. So how high can the value go? Let's bring it all together. A 2000 Massachusetts quarter that's struck with a rare minting error, something like a double die or wrong planchet, combined with a flawless, mint state grade, well, that coin becomes incredibly valuable. And in one particularly notable case, a Massachusetts quarter with the right combination of rarity, perfection, and historical error shocked collectors with its value. That little 25-cent coin? It was professionally authenticated, carefully preserved, and put into auction, and when the final gavel fell, its value was appraised at an astonishing $70,000. Yes, you heard that right. That's $70,000. For a single US quarter from the year 2000. So next time you're counting out change at the gas station, or dumping coins into your piggy bank, take a moment. Look closely. You just might be holding onto a tiny piece of history and a potentially life-changing discovery. Top 4. We're talking about a remarkable piece of modern American currency, the 2019 war in the Pacific Quarter. At first glance, it may look like any other quarter you've spent at the grocery store, but some versions of this coin are so rare, so special, and so surprising, they become worth far more than anyone ever imagined. So stay tuned, because we're about to explore the story, the symbolism, the secrets, and yes, the shocking value behind this rare and powerful coin. Let's travel back to 2019. The United States Mint was continuing its ambitious America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series launched in 2010 that aimed to highlight the country's most iconic national parks, landmarks, and historic sites. One of the final coins released in this incredible series paid tribute to war in the Pacific National Historical Park, located on the island of Guam. This wasn't just another park. It's a sacred reminder of one of the most intense and brutal chapters in world history, World War II in the Pacific Theater. Guam, a strategic island in the Mariana Islands, was the site of fierce fighting and heroic sacrifices. American forces clashed with Japanese troops in battles that defined the resilience, bravery, and tenacity of the greatest generation, the coin's reverse design captures this vividly. You'll see two American soldiers making their way ashore in a dramatic wartime landing. In the background stands a World War II-era artillery piece, ready for action, all surrounded by the rough terrain and waves that made the Pacific campaigns so dangerous. It's not just a coin, it's a tribute to courage. Flip it over, and of course, you're met with the classic portrait of George Washington. But it's what lies beneath the surface of this coin that has collectors on the hunt, because even though millions of these quarters were minted for circulation, only a tiny number were made with characteristics that make them exceptionally valuable. So what makes your war in the Pacific quarter potentially worth thousands? There are a few factors you need to know: rarity, condition, and minting errors. Let's start with rarity. In 2019, the US Mint did something unusual. It released a small batch of quarters with a W Mint mark, meaning they were struck at the West Point Mint. Only 2 million of each America the Beautiful design were minted at West Point that year, making these W quarters significantly rarer than their P, Philadelphia, or D, Denver, counterparts. These W marked quarters were released into general circulation. That means no collector sets, no advance notice. They were scattered across the country like buried treasure, and finding one was like winning a golden ticket. But even rarer than the W minted coins are those that have something called a minting error, a production flaw that happened by accident, like a double die, off-center strike, die crack, or even a coin struck on the wrong metal blank. These kinds of errors are rare, but when they happen on a limited edition coin like the War in the Pacific Quarter, they become a collector's dream. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare errors on a W minted quarter that's in near perfect, uncirculated condition, your coin could be worth far more than just face value. Now let's talk condition. Collectors are extremely picky when it comes to grading. A coin that's been tossed around in pockets or scraped through a vending machine might still be interesting, but it won't fetch top dollar. The real value is in coins that are graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state, with no visible wear, and perfectly struck details. These high-grade examples, especially with mint errors and W mint marks, have become the crown jewels of the 2019 quarter series. Coin experts in grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified a small number of these War in the Pacific quarters with rare characteristics, and when they show up at auction, the bids can get intense. Collectors know what they're worth. Investors are watching closely. And coin lovers across the country are checking their spare change with new eyes. So how much can one of these special quarters actually be worth? Let's break it down. A regular 2019 War in the Pacific quarter from Philadelphia or Denver. Maybe 25 cents to a couple of bucks in uncirculated condition. A W mint mark version? You might be looking at anywhere from $20 to a few $100, depending on condition, but the rarest War in the Pacific quarter, the one with a rare mint error, struck at West Point, and preserved in a flawless state, that coin has reached heights almost no one expected, and in one jaw-dropping case, a perfectly graded War in the Pacific quarter with a verified minting error and W mint mark stunned collectors at auction. It was evaluated by professionals, authenticated, and carefully preserved, and when the final bid came in, that single coin, once worth only 25 cents, had risen in value to a staggering total of $43,000. Yes, that's $43,000. For one small coin you might still find in circulation today. So before you toss your change into a machine, or let that quarter roll under your car seat, take a closer look. Because hidden among those ordinary coins could be a piece of history and a potential fortune. If you love this story and want to keep learning about rare coins, valuable finds, and treasures hidden in plain sight, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next discovery. Top 5. We're about to uncover the story of a coin that's both beautiful and surprisingly valuable, the 2002 Mississippi State Quarter. It's a coin that most people overlook. But behind its elegant design lies a deeper history, a few rare surprises, and for one incredibly lucky owner, a coin that turned out to be worth more than a luxury car. So sit back, watch closely, and make sure you stick around to the end. Because by the time we finish, you'll be rushing to check every Mississippi quarter you can get your hands on. Let's rewind to 2002. The U.S. Mint was in the midst of its wildly successful 50-state quarters program, an ambitious initiative to celebrate each state in the Union with its own unique quarter. One by one, states were honored with artwork that represented their identity, culture, and legacy. When it came time for Mississippi to take the spotlight, the design team chose something elegant, timeless, and deeply symbolic: the magnolia blossom, the state flower. In fact, the reverse of the coin features not one, but two large magnolia blossoms, fully bloomed, with the word Mississippi and the Magnolia State inscribed proudly. The detail is striking. It's not just a flower, it's a symbol of Southern beauty, strength, and grace. The magnolia, known for its large fragrant blooms and deep green leaves, reflects Mississippi's natural charm and enduring cultural identity. You flip the coin over, and like all state quarters, you'll see George Washington's profile, the steady image we all recognize. But behind the familiar look of this coin hides an exciting truth. Because not all 2002 Mississippi quarters are created equal, some of them are rare. Some are exceptional. And a few are extraordinary. So, what makes a single Mississippi quarter worth more than just 25 cents? What pushes it into the world of serious coin collectors and high-stakes auctions? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and those unpredictable yet valuable minting errors. Let's start with rarity. While millions of these quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver for general circulation, only a select few remain in uncirculated or mint-state condition. That means they've been perfectly preserved, free from the scratches, dings, and where that come from everyday use. But the real magic happens when you combine perfect condition with something even rarer, a mint error. Now, mint errors can take many forms: double die strikes, where the image appears to be duplicated slightly, or off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned. Some coins are even mistakenly struck on the wrong kind of metal planchet, meaning they have a completely different weight or composition than they should, and these aren't just quirks. They're collector gold. The 2002 Mississippi quarter has a few known errors that have surfaced over the years, including die cracks, clipped planchets, and even rare double die reverse errors, where parts of the magnolia blossom show slight duplication under magnification. These rare errors, especially when verified by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC, can turn a simple pocket coin into a showpiece. Now imagine finding one of these rare varieties in pristine condition, a coin that's never been circulated, struck perfectly, and preserved just as it came out of the US Mint. Sounds rare, right? Well, it is. In fact, one such Mississippi quarter, featuring a combination of a dramatic mint error and a near-perfect MS-68 grade, was carefully examined, authenticated, and submitted for auction. When the auction opened, collectors immediately recognized the rarity and beauty of the coin. Bids started climbing. What began as a humble quarter became the star of the show. And by the time the final bid came in, the small silver-colored coin had reached a price that left everyone speechless. That single 2002 Mississippi State quarter, once worth just 25 cents, was officially valued at $63,000. Yes, you heard that right. $63,000. So the next time you're sorting through your change, slow down. Take a closer look. That shiny quarter with two magnolia blossoms might be worth more than you ever imagined. Top 6. We're going to take a closer look at a coin that's quietly making waves in the numismatic world, the 2006 Nebraska State quarter. And now, to most people, it's just another coin in the change drawer. But to those who know what to look for, this little piece of American currency could be holding a secret. A secret that could change its value from 25 cents to tens of thousands of dollars. So stay with me as we dive deep into the story, history, hidden details, and collector value of the Nebraska quarter. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and just how much one rare version of this coin has been valued at. Let's start with the origin. In 2006, as part of the United States Mint's 50 state quarters program, Nebraska got its turn to be commemorated. Each state had the opportunity to showcase a piece of its history or culture, and Nebraska made a bold and beautiful choice: Chimney Rock, a towering geological formation that served as a landmark for thousands of pioneers traveling west along the Oregon Trail in the 1800s. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see a covered wagon drawn by oxen, led by pioneers making their journey westward across the vast open plains. Behind them rises Chimney Rock, reaching into the sky like a silent guardian of history. It's not just a scenic image, it's a tribute to courage, hope, and the American dream of new beginnings. That rock formation guided thousands through the most treacherous journey of their lives. And now, it's immortalized on a coin that most people never even stop to notice, but collectors? They notice everything now. When it comes to coin collecting, 3 factors matter most: rarity, condition, and unique features, especially minting errors. Let's talk about rarity first. While millions of Nebraska quarters were produced in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, only a fraction remain in mint state condition. That means no scratches, no wear, and no damage. Coins that are flawless, shiny, and sharply struck. These are the coins that catch a collector's eye, but rarity alone doesn't create sky-high value. What really sends a coin's price soaring is the unexpected, the accidental, the unintentional, the error that slipped through unnoticed, and yes, the 2006 Nebraska quarter has known mint errors that are now legendary in collector circles. We're talking about double die obverse, where the details of George Washington's face or the inscriptions appear doubled. Or off-center strikes, where the design is printed slightly off the mark. Some have visible die cracks, tiny raised lines caused by stress on the minting equipment. Others were even struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin wasn't even supposed to be a quarter at all. When these rare errors occur, and especially when they happen on a coin that's already in pristine condition, the value goes from interesting to incredible, and that brings us to a particular Nebraska quarter that stunned the collecting world. It wasn't just any quarter. It was discovered to have a strong double die reverse, where parts of the covered wagon and chimney rock showed clear, visible doubling under magnification. It was also in mint state 68 condition, nearly flawless. Experts authenticated the error, certified the grade, and placed it for auction. That's when the bidding war began. Collectors from across the country recognized how rare and perfect this particular coin was. One bidder described it as a once-in-a-decade find. And the final bid? Well, that's where things get exciting. This little coin, minted in 2006, designed to honor Nebraska's pioneer spirit, and originally worth just 25 cents, was officially valued at $58,000. Yes, $58,000. So the next time you're sorting through your spare change, don't rush. Look closely. If you see a 2006 Nebraska quarter, inspect it. Check for doubling. Look at the condition. You never know, you might just be holding a rare and valuable piece of American history. If this story fascinated you and you want to uncover more secrets hidden in your spare change, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another exciting coin discovery. Top 7. We're diving into the mysterious, majestic world of the 2014 Arches National Park quarter, a coin that doesn't just honor one of America's most breathtaking natural landmarks, but that has also become a hidden treasure in the world of collectors. It's part of the United States Mint's America the Beautiful series, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye, because among the millions produced, a rare few possess something so unique, so unexpected, and so valuable, that they've fetched prices that no one saw coming. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll learn the fascinating history behind this coin, what makes it so desirable to collectors, and just how much it could be worth if you happen to come across one of the rarest versions ever struck. Let's go back to 2014. When the U.S. Mint released a new design as part of the America the Beautiful program, an initiative that honored national parks and landmarks across the country with uniquely designed quarters. That year, Utah's legendary Arches National Park was chosen. The coin's reverse side features the iconic delicate arch, standing proudly against the backdrop of the La Salle Mountains. If you've ever seen it in real life or even in photos, you know how breathtaking it is. A natural sandstone arch sculpted by millions of years of wind, water, and time. It's not just a tourist attraction, it's a symbol of endurance, strength, and the wild beauty of the American West. The design is remarkably detailed. You can see the texture of the rock, the shadows carved into the desert floor, and the towering elegance of the arch itself. It's more than just a coin, it's a miniature monument, carrying the spirit of the wild into the palm of your hand. But here's the twist: while these coins were minted in large numbers from both the Denver and Philadelphia mints, only a small number were made with a W mint mark, struck at the West Point Mint and released directly into circulation. Even fewer have been found with rare minting errors that make them incredibly valuable. So how do you go from 25 cents to tens of thousands of dollars? Let's talk about what makes certain coins stand out. First, condition matters. Most coins you find in circulation are scratched, worn, and full of life's little nicks and bumps. But a coin that remains in mint state condition, meaning no wear, perfect shine, and crisp details, is a serious attention grabber for collectors. And now, combine that condition with a rare error or unexpected flaw during minting, and that's where the real magic happens. Minting errors can include things like double die strikes, where images or text are slightly duplicated. There are also off-center strikes, planchet errors where the coin is struck on the wrong metal, and even die cracks that leave raised lines across the surface. These mistakes aren't just fascinating, they're extremely collectible, and guess what? The Arches quarter is known to have some very limited error varieties, including coins with visible doubling in the arches, die breaks, and even misaligned strikes that make the coin appear distorted or skewed. These aren't your average quarters. These are the ones collectors dream of finding, and they pay big for them, especially if the coin has been professionally graded by top-tier companies like NGC or PCGS. Now picture this. A 2014 Arches quarter is found in flawless condition. The surface is clean. The design is razor-sharp. And under magnification, it reveals a strong double die reverse, a rare kind of minting error that gives the design a ghostly shadow. It's a true 1 in a million find. That coin is submitted for professional grading, where it receives a mint state 68 designation. That's nearly perfect. And when that coin is authenticated and brought to auction, collectors immediately recognize the significance. The bidding begins. It's fast, competitive, tense. And in the end, one rare Arches National Park quarter, originally meant to be spent on a candy bar, becomes the centerpiece of a serious collector's showcase. The final price? That single coin was officially valued at $52,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $52,000. For one quarter. So, the next time you're handed your change at the grocery store, or you're sifting through a handful of coins in your kitchen drawer, take a moment. Look closer. That 2014 Arches quarter might just be more than loose change, it could be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. If you found this video exciting and want to explore more stories of rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss a chance to uncover another American treasure. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the world of coins, even the smallest piece can carry an enormous story, and sometimes, a fortune.